And welcome back. Now, to support Men's Health Month, which is, of course, this June, a South African biomedical scientist, Dr Judey Pretorius, is highlighting a prevalent yet frequently overlooked skincare issue affecting so many men. And that is, of course, razor bumps or ingrown hairs and scalp irritation. Now, if left untreated, these conditions can actually cause permanent skin damage, including keloid scarring. Dr. Pretorius is encouraging South African men to prioritize their skin health, particularly on the face and scalp, as a crucial aspect of their overall well-being. And Dr. Judey Pretorius joins us in studio this morning to discuss this further. Thanks so much for your time. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning.
So, Dr. Pretorius, what prompted you to focus on this aspect of men's health?
Well, I actually see that, men sometimes refrain from shaving at all, purely because of the fact that they really do struggle with ingrown hairs and razor bumps. And, if we look at it, it's actually a fairly simple problem to solve if you just have the recipe, the do's and don'ts. And typically, men do have much more coarse hair. And sometimes it's the shaving technique or the lack of just a general skincare routine that, leads to the razor bumps and ingrown hairs happening in the first place. So what happens is if they shave and they shave too closely to the skin or they shave against the grain, they'll probably struggle with an ingrown hair or a razor bump. Or if they use like an aftershave balm that contains a lot of alcohol and these type of thing, it causes so much irritation on the skin, and that leads to what we call elevated levels of sebum production or oiliness, and that clogs the pores, and then the hair starts to bend inside the follicle and it just doesn't want to grow out. And the problem is they struggle with the ingrown hairs and razor bumps in the neck area, and then ultimately they just decide, no, I'm not going to shave anymore, let's go with a bearded look.
So as you're explaining that, I'm thinking, okay, when a young man first, starts to shave and maybe doesn't quite have the technique, doesn't have anyone explaining that to him, goes against the grain, does all the things that you've just pointed out should not be done. Does that sometimes lead to problems, complications later on, or can it be corrected?
No, it can 100% be corrected. One of the things that it does happen, sometimes men fiddle a little bit with this ingrown hairs and razor bump, and that converts into a hypertrophic or a keloid scar. And that is sometimes more permanent. But, men don't necessarily like skincare. But if they just embark on a nice, good skincare routine, both in the morning and in the evening, and combine that with their shaving, I promise you, I categorically and explicitly promise you that they won't struggle with any ingrown hairs and razor bumps. And there are certain things that you can be on the lookout for, products that you can use. For instance, a general facial cleanser. You can actually shave with a facial cleanser. But the question now is, what type of cleanser should I use? So when you purchase a cleanser, for instance, or a shaving cream, have a look at whether it contains salicylic acid as an ingredient, because salicylic acid is one of those ingredients that really clears up the follicle quite nicely. It reduces any form of inflammation on the skin, and it allows the skin or the hair to grow out very profoundly out of the follicle. Then aside to that, a nice serum after shaving, again something calming with vitamin B3 and again salicylic acid, just occludes the skin, calms the skin from any inflammation, and very importantly, it's a very mild exfoliant, because as you and I sit here, we exfoliate. We have dead skin cells that we think in our head it's going to fall off because cells proliferate, but it stays there, it lingers there, and then new skin cells actually grow over it, and this is how pores are clogged. So find ingredients like the salicylic acids or lactic acids to help you exfoliate will actually lead to a much more smoother skin. And I know men don't think they age, but they also need anti-aging products.
Well, we can tell them that they do. We are out of time, but I quickly have to ask you, we now do have this trend where more and more men actually do grow a beard, but how do they ensure that, you know, they are using the right products, not just to keep that beard healthy in terms of what we see, but also underneath?
You know, men are going to hate me for what I'm going to say now, but a beard needs to be clean hygienically, because sometimes a beard is there and it leads to microbial growth. And if they even kiss a lady and the beard touched the skin, ladies sometimes get fine pimples around the mouth area because of an unhygienic beard. So again, if we use cleansers with the salicylic acid with a low pH, pH 5 to 5.5, that they use even on top of the beard, then they'll start seeing that they keep the beard hygienically clean. They even keep it nice, you know, glowy. And also those ladies that they kiss, they keep their skin nice and clear as well.
Very important. Thank you so much, South African biomedical scientist Dr. Judey Pretorius, talking to us about the prevalent yet frequently overlooked skincare issues affecting men.